Hi, and welcome to Confidence Equals Beauty with Amanda Taylor. I'm your host, Amanda Taylor. And today I am deep in thought, so I thought I would share my deep thoughts. Bear with me because when I get into these moments, my brain can go very fast and my mouth doesn't seem to know to catch up. And sometimes I rabbit trail, blame it on 42-year-old scatterbrained mom. But what I want to speak about today is how to encourage and instill confidence in your children. So, yesterday, my daughter had her first fall rec league soccer game. We have done soccer in the past, but it was in a different season and it was more of a fundamental of building your soccer skills, not necessarily playing against major teams with referees, positions, all of that. So my daughter goes in. She's 10 years old. She's been hyped up, ready for this game. I've watched her day in, every day outside, working on her drills, looking up YouTube videos on ways to better her skills. And she'll ask me, how am I doing? And I'm looking at her and and I'm honest with her. I was like, baby, I don't know soccer. I don't know how to play soccer. But what I'm seeing in you is your determination and your willingness to keep practicing the skills that you're trying to achieve. So, from a mom standpoint, of course, I'm going to be biased and I'm going to be like, yeah, baby, you're doing great. However, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, you tell me what you're working on. Tell me and explain to me the techniques you need to do in order to perfect this move, this maneuver, whatever the terminology is for you, so you can do great at your game. So we sit down, she explains it. I still, honestly, y'all, my head doesn't wrap around sports. I can cheer all day long. I know when a team wins, it's obvious, but I don't know the moment by moment that it happens. I enjoy watching sports just because it's a fun atmosphere. But I don't, like I said, my brain just doesn't wrap around the concept of it. So, anyways, we're getting ready for the game last night. She's geared up. I look at her and it's like she has her own pep rally going on in her head. She is, warming up. She's kind of, you could tell she's got maybe a song in her head she's kind of pumping up to. And I almost wanted to play like some like, I don't know, jock jams or whatever it would be, that music that would help her even get more. But she was all afternoon, she just was pumping herself up. You could see it. She was excited. We get to the game. She's doing everything she needs to do to warm up like she needs to. She's following the coach's directions. She is, I am just impressed at watching her dedication and determination. So we play the game. I'm a mom screaming. I'm asking all the parents around me, like, what did they just do? What was that move? Like, help me out here. And they're like, Kenzer is so good. I'm like, she is? They're like, yes, your daughter is so good. Look at her control and look at what she's doing. And all I could just, of course, my mom pride goes up, and I'm like, yeah, my girl, yes. Well, we end up losing the game. And we get back in the car, and all she does is just degrade herself. She's upset with herself. She's upset with her team. She's upset with the whole circumstances. And in this moment, she was looking for me to tell her what she could have done to correct herself and what she could have done differently. And she kept saying, Mom, you don't have anything to say that I could have done better. Mom, you don't have anything to, help me out and change. And I looked at her and I was like, well, that's not the goal right now. And she looked at me and she's like, what do you mean? I was like, Right now, as your mother, it is not my place to tell you what you did and did not do right or wrong. It's my job to cheer you on at the game, not criticize you, not tell you what to correct. You got coaches that can do that. My job is to cheer for you no matter what happens. And she's like, yeah, but, and then she goes into all the things that she did wrong. And I was like, I want you to stop right there. You have a very good knowledge, very good understanding of who you are and what your capabilities are. But I want this dialogue to change. What did you do right? And she just started talking about the things that I did keep control over the ball. There were moments I was able to pivot, turn. I was able to, when someone um, kicked the ball to me, I was able to stop it. I did my position, running it up and down the field where I needed to. And I was like, good. Now, how does it feel telling me all the things you did right? And she's like, kind of feel a little better. I was like, yeah. And I go, in circumstances where you're very disappointed in your performance, or not necessarily your performance, but the lack of what you did or your team did, it is okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to feel all the feelings. But give yourself only a few minutes to do that. And then you need to change the dialogue because you don't suck. You're not horrible. You played with the most determination I've ever seen someone play. Like I said, I hate to tell you this, baby girl, but I don't know what you're doing. So to me, I'm learning something new. But what I don't want you to do is degrade yourself because the outcome did not turn out the way you thought it should. And so as I'm having this conversation with her, I'm seeing, of course, as a mama, you never want to see your team upset. But the one thing I did notice on the soccer field was a lot of parents were upset. They immediately went to their child, started telling all their child everything they did wrong. How, it was a very different vibe. I've never really seen this. I've heard this happening. I mean, I've seen this in pageantry. I've seen a lot of parents when the daughter gets off stage, go straight to, you didn't do this, you didn't take your turn, you didn't turn your head right. What happened to your smile? You didn't do your routine right. So I've seen this. I've seen this in dance where parents go immediately after the performance and tell the child everything they did wrong. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like as parents, not that we're doing anything quote unquote right or wrong, but I do think it's vitally important how we speak to our children and how we raise them up. So, for example, yes, there were probably things, a lot of things my daughter could correct, but it was not the time, in my opinion, at the game to be hollering at her, telling her what she did wrong. It's my job to cheer for her, lift her up because she worked so hard to play this game. And let me bring it in a pageant world. Those who don't know pageants, I'll kind of educate you. We've kind of been in this world for a while. The girl has to learn how to walk in a gown. Usually, at a certain age, they're walking in long gowns. Sometimes when they're younger, they're wearing shorter gowns because their little legs can't really coordinate with the long gown. But usually, they're wearing maybe a heel, sometimes flats. It just kind of depends on the pageant system what they do, and also depends on the age. But the girl goes out, her name is called, and she is to walk as elegant and almost perfect as she can, basically showing her how she can handle a gown. And usually these gowns are twice the size of them. They're full of mesh and fluff and all that kind of stuff underneath. They're heavy. They have a lot of rhinestones or beading or you name it. Their hair has to be very presentable. Pageant judges like hair to be big and full. Makeup is usually on. Sometimes pageant systems want it to be natural makeup. Some pageants want to be very glammed up. Just depend on the system you are. But the girl's name is called. She walks on stage. Usually she's practiced going to what's called X's. She can do a turn at the X. She can just stand there, pivot. We call it step, step, turn. We have different terminologies for it, but she does her marks. She is probably taught or she's practiced certain face expressions, like certain smiles, big smile, half smile, closed teeth smile. Her hands have to be in a certain position. Her posture has to be up. There's a lot of pressure. Usually there's a stage light on her. There are people in front of her judging her every move. And in the pageant world, what I have seen is when a child, typically maybe forgets something on stage because it's a lot happening on stage. You got music in the background. A lot of times the MC is sharing fun facts about you or about the child. And you are literally at the mercy of the people in front of you, however many judges. You're at their mercy to tell you, did you walk well or not? And so I've seen where when the girls get off the stage, the girls run to their moms, dads, grandparents, and I've seen where they immediately tell them, well, you missed this turn. You missed that smile. You didn't turn your head this way. And all you see is the girl's smile feels defeated. And my best advice in this situation to build your child up is when they are in a performance or something they have worked and practiced hard for, during the practice, during the skill building, and I'm not just talking about pageantry, I'm talking about any situation that a child is working hard. That is where the constructive criticism is very vital and helpful. As a parent, in my personal opinion only, I feel like when they're in the performance, they are in the game, they are in the moment that they've worked hard, that is not the time to bring up the things they did wrong. That is the time to cheer, lift them up, tell them what they did do right. Keep encouraging, keep building them up. Because the more encouragement you give, the more cheering you do, the more positive words that come out of your mouth to uplift them, the more they are going to lean into that and actually probably improve the performance. Yeah, I get it. When it's a sport, pageant, dance, spelling bee, I mean, you name it. When your child is up there and you're watching your child, as a parent, it is probably one of the most nerve-wracking things to ever do because you see all the things that go right and go wrong. And as a parent, there's nothing you can do to control it in the moment. If your kid misspells the word, they practiced over and over for that competition. They know that spelling, but in the moment they missed it. That's not the time to criticize it. That's the time to say, I know you know that spelling. I know how hard you worked on that. You know what? I think your nerves got the best of you, but you know what? You can do it next time. That's the time to speak life into your children, not criticize them. And I feel like if we can do this to our children actually grow up knowing what they're capable of, not what they lack. And I don't know why this is hitting me so hard today, but it was a beautiful conversation that I had with my daughter about just lifting her up. My child is a very competitive child. I'm a very competitive person. We love to win. We do. But we also understand that there is more to learn in losing or not placing in the top numbers. We also know that there is more learning about who you are when you actually, quote unquote, fail than actually winning. Now, I'm all about winning. I'm all about pushing to do your best. But I just want moms to kind of lean in on this. If you have found yourself going more to the criticism of what they need to do to correct, especially in the performance aspect, I'm really going to encourage you. Let me say that again because I'm getting tongue tied. Let me encourage you to change your dialogue. Your child's going to probably be upset if they don't win. Your child's probably going to be disappointed if something doesn't go the way they thought it should. Lean into that, let them express the feeling. I wouldn't let it go beyond 5 minutes. Change your dialogue. Try not to go to the negative. Like I said, there is a time and a place while they're at practice, while they are learning the skill. That's the time where you can be like, let's change that. Your feet work wasn't as where it needs to be. Your balance isn't where it needs to be. Your position, whatever the term you need to use, that's the time. When they are actually in their performance, their game, when they are on, speak life into them. And don't criticize the people around. They hear that. I hear a lot in the dance world and the pageant world, moms just commenting on other children, and it breaks my heart. Or it was rigged, or it wasn't fair. There's a lot of excuses being made. And I'm going to encourage you, yeah, you can have those conversations behind closed doors, not in the public eye. But I encourage you, don't have those conversations with your child because all she hears is the negative. She may not own the responsibility she needed to in order to work on her skill. But also, it just teaches that mean girl mentality of talking bad about people. Same thing with sports. Don't criticize a teammate. Don't criticize the other team in front of your children. Like I said, as adults, you can whisper in each other's ear all day long where it's not being heard out loud, but don't do it where other people can hear. Because you also never know what child you may be criticizing and how it could hurt that child. You also don't know what parent's listening, what friend is listening, who knows that other person. I do encourage you to speak life into other children, other teams, everything else. Like I said, as a mama, there's nothing more than I want my daughters, my sons, to step out on their field or step out on that stage or that debate competition, you name it, whatever the kids are involved in. There's nothing more than you want as a parent to be like, my kid's the best. I know my kid's the best. I want my kid to succeed. I want my kid to walk home with the highest points, the highest scores, the highest trophy, you name it, the crown, you name it. We all, as parents, we all want that. But I am going to encourage you if your child doesn't, keep lifting them up. Keep lifting them up, speaking all the good things that you do see in that them. Because I want you to think back if you when you were a child, what was the dialogue that was taught to you? Were you good enough in the moment or were you not? Remember the conversations that were told to you. Did you feel protected? Did you feel safe? Did you feel your confidence build or diminish? Or, in other words, crumble? And I want you to think back to your little child and what you needed in your life at that moment when you felt like the biggest failure. What did you need? And I want you to think your child needs the opposite of the negative. I want you to think your child is looking to you. They want to please you. All they want is for you to smile and say, and give them a high five, a hug. You were amazing. That's what they're looking for. So I'm going to encourage you to change your dialogue to very life giving. Lift your children up, encourage them. If they have a bogus idea that you're just like, this ain't going to happen, I still want you to embrace it. I mean, if it's something that's going to be in danger, then of course you can talk to them about the pros and cons of something that's dangerous. But feed into it, lean into it. Who knows? You just may spark the next famous so and so in your child because you encourage their dream. So I hope that my vulnerability in a conversation with my child that I'm sharing with you helps you. Because I feel like, yes, it's important for us to build our own confidence and walk with our head held high and knowing and believing we are capable of anything. But I also think it's so vital we lean into our children and we start now building their confidence up. They don't have to be arrogant, they don't have to be stuck up. You can build their confidence without that. And giving them the stepping stones that you never had because now you're in your age, now you are listening to this podcast, trying to help yourself out. Let's instill in our younger generation how to build confidence now so when they are adults, they can achieve anything and everything that they dream of. Thank you for sitting with me this long. I love you. I'm here for you. And remember, confidence equals beauty.